cojones to read the patch notes, but I do, and I'm gonna read all the patch notes that could find and the best that I can, so you know what exactly to expect at patch 1.07. With me is Nuclear Wombat. He picked up the game about I don't know, 3 weeks ago.
We had about 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yep, and he's enjoying
Yeah.
it. He's right now in World Tier 1. But I'm going to read the patch notes. And let's just say I got them randomly from somewhere. But there's a lot of them here. And let me start while we're fresh here. So the new features, Operation Dark Hours. Operation Dark Hours is our first 8-player raid. So it's the raid. They're probably preloading it in here. Oh, look at that. Classified assignments. That's something new. So our special mission available for Year 1 pass holders. Oh, I didn't get the pass yet. I need to get that. So you need to have the Year 1 pass to do these. So I'm going to have to
I've
pick them up.
completed one.
Do you got the pass?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, you've got to have the pass. So I won't be able to do this. Maybe at the end of the week I'll pick this up. I was going to pick it up because Division 2 is really good. A really good game there. These are entrances to these missions. Okay, so unfortunately I won't be able to do that. The map to start your search for and uncover the secret stories behind the fall of Washington, D.C. So I will not be able to do that. But it does show up on my map. Oh. Okay, maybe I can do that. End tutorial, please. Okay, so... And the raid available, they actually don't have a date for it yet. The raid is available to everyone. You don't have to have the Year 1 pass. It is an eight-man raid. The helipad outside the base of Washington Murmur, or assemble your raid group from the social menu. Raids are extremely challenging. Grants unique and powerful rewards. Okay. If you notice, the helipad is right there. No available activities yet. So you're going to, like I said, they said that more information exacting opening times will be revealed soon. So we don't know. It will be against the Black Tusk. And as I said, there's popped up there. There's new classified assignments. These are for owners of the Year 1 pass, so you'll have to have the Year 1 pass to do it. I don't have the Year 1 pass. Didn't get the Year 1 pass. I guess it just simply shows up because it's there. Okay. Let's see. Discover and complete these. Here's stories behind the fall of DC as well, unlocking exclusive backpack trophies. Title Update 3 includes the first 2 classified assignments. New apparel event. Dark Hours starting together with the raid release will be another apparel event with new outfits, masks, motes, and weapon skins. Added Operation Dark Hour achievement trophies. Commendations. Added new commendations for Operation Dark Hour. Remove the following commendations. So if you're trying to go for these commendations, guess what? They're gone. 28-day distinction. A record 672 hours, which equates to 28 days of time in game. That is gone. Distinguished service ribbon for 30 consecutive days. On each day, play for at least 1 hour and complete 1 mission. Gone. Supreme Response Distinction for 7 consecutive days. On each day, complete 4 main missions and rescue 5 civilians. Gone. Year 1 merit. Play on 14 days per month on a total of 12 months. Gone. Division service merit for a total of 100 days. On each day, play for at least 1 hour and deliver 20 resources to control points. Gone. Developer comment. We removed these commendations as we felt that they were not delivering a great experience for players. Oftentimes, you could miss out on your daily login or lose your streak with no error on your own. or adding different commendations that still let you show off your dedication towards the game without the log-on requirements. For those players that have already earned the above-mentioned commendations, they will remain visible as completed. So for people who have completed it, you could show off and pump your chest out and say, hey, already done it. Added a new vanity patch reward for all players as compensation for any lost time due to the above changes. So you still get a patch here. Let's see what it looks like here. I don't see anything in commendations, but if it's a patch, it would be in apparel, and I don't see anything. So maybe it's not there yet. Okay, well, you know. Added 5 new commendations. Full deck distinction. Acquire all the snitch cards. Distinction service distinction. Complete 30 hours of service. Supreme response distinction. Complete all main missions and strongholds on hard difficulty or above. Control point takeover merit. Take over 50 heroic control points. Invasion service medal. Complete 10 invaded strongholds. Changed Peacock Award to specifically use the Jumping Jacks emote. This is something that me, Doom and Gloom, are trying to be getting, and it just hasn't been popping. So instead of trying to just do any emote, it specifically is asking for you to be in a group and do Jumping Jacks and then have them do Jumping Jacks back. I don't know if that's going to make that a little bit tougher. But that's what you're looking at now to get the Peacock Award. Changed mission discovery merit commendations to track when a player collects loot from loot boxes, not opening the loot boxes. This will ensure that all players that are in a group can earn this commendation when playing the respective missions. I believe that was a very tough one to get. Increase crafting. Increase the base cap for receiver components in protective fabric crafting materials by 200, meaning that the cap now starts at 350 and ends at 600 with all material capacity perks. Good, because just getting loot that really doesn't do anything, you got 2 things to do. Disassemble it and get crafting material, or sell it. I'd rather get crafting material than have to always, huff it back to a vendor and have to figure out what I'm selling and what I'm breaking down. Inaya Al-Khaliq in the base of operations is now a crafting vendor. She can be found next to the crafting bench in the White House. So let's go visit Miss Inaya and see what she's got.
Over here.
Okay, there is. So she's right here. There, buy and sell. Look at that. She's got blueprints. Oh boy, now she's gonna be a really important person to visit. Let's see, she's got Hercules dexterity gloves, tactical M1911 replica. That's a high end. That looks nice. Unknown chem launcher mod. So you people who like to use your chem launchers, there you go. And she got some other stuff here. I wonder if this will be rotating. I don't see a timer on her. So, don't know if this is a rotating stuff that she has. But there you go. She does a lot more now. She kind of looked kind of weird just standing there all pretty and like and not getting the attention that she should get. Oh, sorry about that. My controller's still wonking out on me. But there, she's, instead of just sitting here by the bench looking at the one thing over and over again in the way she looks at it, she's got the stuff to buy from her now. And you can also sell stuff to her. So, yay. Let's see here. Added specialized and superior skill mob blueprints to her stock. Added an extra weekly blueprint in her stock. Moved crafting blueprints from the base of operations vendor to her stock. So the base of operations vendor, which is this gentleman over here. His stock is now minuscule because he's just selling gear. So as you can see, he's got 4 things here for sale. Still stealth stuff, but most of the blueprints he had for sale now went to Miss Anyanya. So that's where you'll find those blueprints. Note, while Anyanya will have a variety of blueprints available, there are still other resources in the game, like settlements and control points. So you can still find stuff all over the world. She just doesn't have everything. All exotic items upgraded through crafting will get the maximum gear score of the current crafting bench tier. So I'm in tier 5.
Come on over.
That means that anything I buy from her, blueprint-wise and make, will be at my level, which is between 450 and 490. So you'll still get whatever you buy will be built at that level. Gear. Bonus armor granted on blue attributes gear is significantly increased. Armor percent can now be found as defensive attribute rolls. Health percent can now be found as defense attribute rolls. So let's take a look at my backpack. And there's my mods. High end, I got plus 14%, 14 build buff. I don't see what they're talking about here. I mean, there's my armor and my health and my skill power. It still has the usual score, but they don't see this defense attribute rolls. Armor percent can now be found as a. Do I don't see it with the? Don't see that. We'll have to figure that out. Okay, health percent can now be found at, no, gear sets. Hardwire now grants skill damage instead of shock duration. Ongoing directive now grants special ammunition into any weapon, including the weapon currently equipped. Now grants special ammunition on any kill, not just weapon kills. True Patriot decreased debuff cycle from 4 seconds to 2 seconds. Increased damage dealt to nearby targets when full flag is active to 50%. Icons. The confidential gear set intel item now has a project icon to better reflect its use. Loot. Loot containers will now reset at a preset time of day. Control point rewards container will now also reset with this daily timer. Improved quality and quantity of drone helicopter loot. Slightly reduced quality of items from clan caches. Cabinet loot containers now have a chance to contain Dark Zone keys. Increased ammunition drop chance from enemy NPCs to limit situations where players would run out of ammunition during prolonged fights on higher difficulty activities. Thank God. That got annoying. Dark Zone contaminated loot does not drop below players' average gear score and will guarantee gear score 500 when the player has reached 500 gear score. Good. Heroic difficulty mission bosses, stronghold bosses, bounty bosses, and heroic control points reward containers will guarantee gear score 500 when that player has reached 500 gear score. Loot now skews more towards the top end of its allowed gear score, resulting in fewer items below a player's average gear score, and items that do not drop it will be closer to that average more often. Now, Nuka, you said you've been noticing your loot is still dropping below your current level, correct?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's at a particular gear, particular tier. Because if you're in tier 1 and it's still dropping lower, it skews more towards loot now. This says loot in general. It doesn't say it from bosses or whatnot.
Right. So the level, the gear level was higher, but the actual armor level was less.
Okay. So you're still getting stuff that is a higher gear score, but
Yeah,
it's
but
lower on the end. Okay, so it is
yeah,
that is definitely working the way it should be. So good. Increase the rewards for daily hard and challenge mission projects, and they will guarantee gear score 500 when the player has reached 500 gear score. Missions. New feature, post-mission activity summary. After completing missions, players may opt to look at the activity summary showcasing their performance in that activity and allowing an expanded look at a variety of detailed statistics. Cool! That is cool. Bank headquarters, reduced difficulty for solo players. Roosevelt Island, reduced difficulty for solo players. Didn't really notice that much for myself.
I did.
You did? Okay,
I
so
did. Yeah.
definitely a big change there, according to Nuke there. So all you solo players, those two bank headquarters and Roosevelt Island, the difficulties been reduced. So if you've been banging your head there and not getting through that brick wall, well, it looks like that brick wall got a little bit softer. So go ahead and bang away. More mods. Hive users can now find plus healing on the experimental blend mods. Hive users can now find plus radius on the network firewall mods. New mods, auxiliary skill battery. Auxiliary skill batteries fit the skill mod slots and grant skill power. Let's get that over to our clan space. And I think I went the wrong way. I did. It's this way. Let's get there. I do a little dance while I read my stuff. Alright, so NPCs upgraded RC Blade to fix various issues. Elite Medic's pulse grenades have been changed. No longer applies disrupt. Oh, thank God. Reduced impact static radius. Thank God. The grenade impact radius should now be easier to see. Thank God. Decreased damage of veteran elite named NPCs. It's a 50-50 on that one. Greatly decreased melee damage to all tank NPCs. Interesting. Moderately decreased melee damage of all non-tank NPCs. Decreased thrower NPCs accuracy with grenades. Oh my God, thank you. It's like they had a freaking homing missile there. They are no longer professional basketball pitchers. Oh God. Yes. Oh, they were. They could probably do it closed with their eyes closed. It was just horrible.
Mortar bombers too were really pain in the neck.
Oh yeah.
And guys could hit you with a mortar bomb.
Well, this is not
when you were behind cover.
This is not motor bomb guys. These is just grenade users. So.
Yeah, but I think it says that they've reduced the capabilities of all these bosses.
Well, I'm just trying to share this link here, and I'll get back to the notes. No, it's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be on a friend's timeline. I wanted in a group. Thank you. All right. There you go. All right, so let's keep going here with these notes here. Slightly decreased damage of elite named Warhound. Civilian control point officers now wear pants. Okay. Didn't know they weren't.
Bizarre, wasn't it?
Didn't know they were naked. I would have. That been the first thing I would have known.
They looked like they had shorts on. It was bizarre.
Showing what you're going there. making sure that your garden grows. I did not notice that. Civilian control point officer now wear protective body armor, safety first. Yeah, because that is actually kind of important, considering that the patrol officers can go down. They can be revived. If they die, I think you get screwed out of that control point, and then you gotta do it all over again. So that's kind of good. Civilians with fully upgraded settlements now wear combat harnesses and have slightly more health. Okay, that would make sense, considering that a lot of the projects are asking for armor and stuff. So that's a nice way to make the world feel a little bit more complete. Upgrading a settlement now slightly increases civilian damages. Nice. They rather effective, and now they're even more effective. Like this. NPCs will now be slightly less defensive while in cover and being aimed at by a player. Okay, good, because sometimes they just simply would sit there especially if you're doing a sniping. They would just sit there and would not move. It's like they knew you were aiming at them. Even if you weren't using a sniper, say you were using your sidearm, they still knew you that they were being aimed at for some reason. Even though that granted we have third-person view, so we know when they're doing stuff. But if you take it in a more real-world thing, there is no way if you're got your head down and you're not looking forward whether you think if you know a guy is aiming at you or not. So good for that. That makes it a little bit more realistic. Decreased likelihood of NPCs using ladders in combat. That kind of got annoying when you accidentally did that. Decreased likelihood of NPCs using special navigation out of combat. Civilian NPCs will now stay further away from players in cover, lessening the chance of them taking a player's preferred cover location. That got annoying. We get it. You're very protective of your favorite cover spot. I marked it, damn it. Civilian hostages are now more protective of their lives. Oh my god, I hated civilians.
Yeah, they don't give themselves up quite so easily. I've noticed that.
They just stand out there and they're like, "Oh, I like bullets."
Get back in cover. They were just going to shoot you in the middle of the street. Now what are you doing?
I failed so many civilian hostage situations from them dying that Oh, yeah, thank God. They do
actually hide. They do actually go for cover.
Good, because it got annoying failing those over and over again. Fixed an issue with many explosives causing extreme amounts of threat, confusing NPCs. Fixed various sliding issues with NPCs following recovery from a status effect. An NPC should no longer be able to stagger players with a melee attack if the player has a ballistic shield equipped. It just simply can't happen. If I got a ballistic shield out and someone punches that, I hope their hand broke. Drone helicopter, increased the health, increased damage, improved movement. Decreased outcast suicide vest explosion range. Oh god, thank god. Lowered NPC damage and health above normal difficulty. Okay. Increased variety of NPCs at higher difficulty levels. Okay. Open World implemented various UI and audio improvements to living world activities. Control points. Control point difficulty is now more clearly communicated, using regular difficulty names in addition to alert level. Approaching enemy patrols and convoys are now signaled more clearly during control point takeover. The civilian officer will now revive down players during control point takeover and judge you silently. That's funny. Actually, it's kind of neat, but not fun. Very well worded there. Players can now select the civilian takeover icon on the map as a respawn option during control point takeover. The option is disabled after the enemy leader joins the fight. Okay, nice. Players can now fast travel to civilian convoys and take over squads from the map. That is nice. Now, example, you're trying to take over a place. You call for reinforcements. The reinforcements are there. You're shooting, shooting, shooting. You get taken down and you die. You go back to the next respawn place. They're still trying to take it over. You can fast travel on their icon. Excellent. I hated having to have to constantly run back there, then get waylaid by a wandering patrol, and then by the time I get there, everyone's dead. Great, nice fix. Black Tusk now wear Warhound convoys. No, Black Tusk now send Warhound convoys carrying gear and weapons to Tidal Basin when the mission is available. Nice. Okay, recalibration. Recalibration has changed to allow for the majority of stats to be moved as they are, from one item to another, while making it less likely to reach the cap of the stat moved. To achieve this goal, we're expressing the recalibrated power as a separate number called recalibration score next to the gear score. As such, recalibration will no longer increase the gear score of the item. All existing recalibrated items will have their recalibrated additional gear score converted to the new format. I'm too busy dancing, but it sounds like there's going to be a separate stat for you to when you're going to recalibrate it. I adjusted the cost and ability to be recalibrated for Terminite, Kneecap, calculated. Rewards. XP from bounties has been increased. Yay! Now people have reason to do bounties. All settlement weekly projects now war blueprints. Awesome. New daily project. SHD requisition requires crafting ingredients and rewards higher quality gear and blueprints. Yay! Increase the quality of weekly project requirement. Increase the quality of weekly project equipment rewards. Yay! Skills. Assault drone. P versus E. The drone will now more actively look for a new target once it loses its current target. Basically, if it shoots at something, you usually mostly had to point it out to something else before it would shoot something else. Now it sounds like that once it kills its target, or the target gets killed before it does it, it will actively, a little bit more actively look for a new target, for instead of you having to constantly point out something else for it to kill. Defender drone will now drain more quickly once a shot has been deflected. Okay, that's fine. Reinforcer chem launcher. Reinforcer gas clouds do not stack anymore. Reviver hive. Fixed further occurrences of players not being revived. Revive time slightly increased. Riot foam chem launcher. Increased base duration of riot foam when used against an NPC. Nice. Scanner pulse. Reduced cooldown from 120 seconds to 90 seconds. Good. Talents. Gear talents. Berserk. Increased required max armor depleted from 10% to 20%. Now requires 7 offense attributes. Blacksmith. Increased armor repair from 25% to 50%. Can now occur every 15 seconds, was 10 seconds. Now requires 7 defense attributes. Blood 5% to 35%. Decreased duration from 10 seconds to 5 seconds. P versus P. Decreased granted the weapon damage from 25% to 20%. Decreased duration from 10 seconds to 5 seconds. Now requires 9 offensive attributes. Bloodsucker. P versus E. Depleting an enemy's armor adds a stack plus 25% bonus armor for 10 seconds. Mass stack is 6, was 20%, 20 seconds, and 5. P versus P. Depleting an enemy's armor adds a stack of 20% bonus armor for 5 seconds. Max stack is 5. Now requires 11 offensive attributes and an assault rifle, an SMG, or an LMG equipped. Critical. Reduce critical hit damage bonus from 8% to 5%. Clutch. Increased health gained per critical hit from 15% to 20%. Reduced armor gained per critical hit from 2% to 1%. Now requires 4 or less defensive attributes. And Nuke, I gotta bring this up, and you will understand this, and we can basically agree on this. They are separating abilities from weapons in two different ways. It has how it works in the PvE and how it works in the PvP, unlike another certain game we play called Destiny, where it's just, oh, we need to balance it for P versus P and screw P versus E. That's basically what I'm getting at. How I'm reading this. Do you think that is? Am I reading it the right way?
I think they're definitely changing the way that the game feels for both disciplines. Yeah.
Yeah, just to break character for a second. That's been a thorn in everyone's side when it comes to Bungie doing, nerfing and doing the stuff with their gear and their weapons. Is it seems that they're purposely trying to do stuff to make sure that the PV versus P is balanced, and the P versus E suffers because of that. Where
I don't think Bungie's model allows them to change that independently, though.
Yeah.
That's why they have that problem.
Yeah.
I don't think the engine has been constructed smart enough, where there's two pigeonholes for PvE and PvP, whereas I think this engine has been modelled to allow that to happen.
Yeah, and
they've got distinct sides.
And this is the Snowdrop engine, and from what I understand, this is the only game that this engine's been used on. And it's a very good engine, actually. All right, so where was I at? Okay, critical but this is still Bloodsucker here. Entrench. Actually, this is a new one. Sorry. Entrench increased armor repair for headshots from cover from 5% to 10%. Hard hitting reduced damage to elites from 15% to 10%. Kneecap increased chance to apply bleed when shooting an enemy in the legs from 10% to 15%. Patience. After being at cover for 5 seconds, armor repairs by 5% every second, which was 3 seconds. Now requires 6 defensive attributes, so I'm going to have to look at that because patience is something that I look for in my stuff. Safeguard. Reduced duration from 20 seconds to 5 seconds. Can only occur once every 20 seconds. This was already the case, but is now reflected in the tooltip. So the tooltip was wrong, is now reflected correctly. Now requires 4 or less offensive attributes. Spotter increased weapon damage to pulsed enemies from 10% to 20%. Now requires 5 utility attributes. Surgical reduced critical hit chance bonus from 8% to 5%. Unbreakable, P versus E increased amount of max armor repaired when armor is depleted from 25% to 70%. Increased time frame for armor kits not being consumed when effect triggers from 5 seconds to 7 seconds. In P versus P, it increased max armor repaired when armor is depleted from 15% to 25%. Increased time frame for armor kits not being consumed when effect triggers from 5 seconds to 7 seconds. Now requires 11 defensive attributes and no other talents affecting armor kits. Unstoppable Force, P versus E. Killing an enemy now grants 2% weapon damage for every 25 max armor. PvP, killing an enemy grants 1% weapon damage for every 25 max armor. Now requires 7 or more defensive attributes. Developer comment, due to the increase in available armor on gear made, we decided to also increase the max armor requirements for Unstoppable Force. Weapon talents, Frenzy, P versus E. For every 10 bullets in a magazine capacity, gain plus 2% rate of fire and plus 2% weapon damage for 5 seconds when reloading an empty. P versus P. For every 10 bullets in a magazine capacity, gain plus 1.5% of fire and plus 1.5% weapon damage for 5 seconds when reloading from empty. Killer now grants 30% critical damage for 5 seconds instead of 50% critical hit chance. Developer comment, we think critical damage feels more appropriate as you already need a relatively high critical hit chance to activate the talent regularly. Measured now grant 20% rate of fire in minus 15% weapon damage in the top half of the magazine. Now grants minus 20% rate of fire and plus 30% weapon damage in the bottom half of the magazine. Developer comment, measured should now be a net damage bonus, and the increased rate of fire should be better support other talents and effects activating. Preservation, P versus E, kill an enemy repairs 10% armor for over 5 seconds. Headshots improves the repair to 20%. Was 5%, 3 seconds, 10%. P versus P, killing an enemy repairs 5% armor over 3 seconds. Headshots improves the repair to 15%. Now requires 7 defensive attributes. Reformation, increased headshot kill skill repair and healing to 50% from 25%. Reduced duration from 25 seconds to 20 seconds. Now requires 9 utility attributes. Spike, increased skill damage from 25% to 35%. Increased duration from 10 seconds to 20 seconds. Now requires 5 utility attributes. Strained, increased missing armor requirement from 5% to 10%. Unhinged, reduced damage bonus from 25% to 20%. Reduced handling negative from 35% to 25%. So, with all of these changes in the gear, you're going to have to relook at your builds and correct them accordingly. So that way you got your build the way you want it, and you might have to mix and match now. Vendors will now verify the player's highest achieved world tier and offer items of that gear score instead of offering items of the highest world tier available in the group. Weapons, SOCOM MK20 SSR now has a skin slot from specialized quality and up. Nemesis mod slots, optic plus 35% headshot damage, magazine plus 10% reload speed, muzzle plus 15% critical hit damage, rail plus 15% damage to elites. Chatterbox box, damage increased, mod slots, optic plus 5% critical hit chance, magazines plus 10% reload speed, muzzle plus 15% critical hit chance, rail plus 15% handling.
I'm just going to make a cup of tea. I'll be back in a minute.
Aye. Sweet Dreams / Lullaby, damage increased, mod slots, optic plus 15% accuracy, magazine plus 15% reload speed, rail plus 25% optimal range. Merciless / Ruthless, damage increased, mod slots, optics plus 10% accuracy, magazine plus 15% reload speed, muzzle plus 20% stability, rail plus 20% handling. Pestilence, damage increased, mod slots, magazine plus 10% rate of fire, muzzle plus 20% stability, raid plus 15% handling. Liberty, damage increased, mod slots, optics plus 10% critical hit chance, magazine plus 15% damage to elites, muzzle plus 15% stability, and rail plus 15% rate of fire. Tech 50 now has 2 zooming states. Conflict, armor boost provided reduced by 15%. Armor value on nameplates, improved visuals to better reflect how much armor an enemy has. Balance, all players are now scaled to max world tier gear score. Primary stats are set to high-end values. Normalized talent overrides are applied. Budget distribution of non-normalized items is preserved. No additional bonuses applied. Unlocked mods and talents from unnormalized builds are active. Items above gear score 500 will be scaled to 500. No bonus stats will be applied to these items. Recalibration bonuses are not applied. PvP specific overrides weapons and skill global damage modifiers. Targeted weapon and skill damage modifiers. Assault rifles now have a 1.25 P versus P damage scaler applied. Skill behaviors overrides. Damage boost provided reduced by 15%. The Conflict NPC was moved to a more prominent spot next to the helipad at the base of operations. Respawning players are now much more likely to respawn with their teammates. Skill cooldowns no longer reset when a player is killed. And then PvP, we got damage modifiers reduced to increase time to kill. Skill modifier increased to let skills have more impact in P versus P. I'm a bit itchy here for some reason. Dark Zone. Contaminated loot. Bosses now guaranteed a contaminated loot drop. Higher challenge landmarks can drop multiple contaminated items. Ugh. Basic, veteran, and elite NPCs have their drop rates lowered, but now have a very high chance to drop contaminated loot. DZ bag size. Default bag size increased to 6. Tier 1 perk. Bag space now increased bag size to 8. Tier 4 perk bounce back now reduces... Oh, I'm being logged off. I'll go back in. Tier 4 perk bounce back now reduces Dark Zone XP loss on health. And Tier 10 perk increases bag size to 10. So basically, as you level up in the Dark Zone, you get perks from the perk officer, from the DZ officer up top on the second floor. These have been recalibrated. DC brackets, reduce bracketing to level 1 to 30 players and world tiers. NPC AI reduced damage output, increased time to kill. Landmarks added a short cooldown to landmarks. Rogue removed cooldown. There is still a 5-second toggle cooldown. Thieves' Den now allows players to switch weapons. Occupied Dark Zone damage modifiers added a separate PvP damage modifier. XP reduced DZ XP loss to 35% of the XP in your current Dark Zone rank 1 being killed. General text check improvements. Players can toggle displaying personal and group loot drops. Text chat will now lose focus after sending a message. Group tab will be populated with all raid members when queuing for a raid. Improved feedback when attempting invalid actions in text chat. Settings. Added a neutral lighting setting to all platforms. PC settings. Added anti-LA... yes, thank you there. Added anti-aliasing graphics setting with new ultra alternative for sharper image when in motion. This is for you PC Master Race users. Let me get back to my crib. This time I gotta watch it. Alright. UI character sheet will now properly update and display accuracy, stability, recoil, weapon swap, and reload speed from weapon handling bonuses. Social menu went down. The agents now have the possibility to open the social menu via hotkey. Players will be able to matchmake during heroic difficulty missions. Players are now immune to volt kicks during boss encounters and for a short time after the end of boss encounters and missions. Going FAK removes this immunity. Bug fixes. Fixed an issue where NPCs in the bounty screen had broken animation. Put your hands down, please. Fixed an issue that could prevent players from completing the side mission medical camp attack. Fixed an issue where armor values on AI in the Dark Zone scaled incorrectly. Fixed an issue where the sniper turret would aim at targets out of line of sight in PvP. Fixed an issue where scanner pulse and remote pulse were not properly affected by skill duration. Fixed various issues where skill bonuses were not applied properly. Fixed an issue where bounties rewarded from projects and settlements were rewarding the wrong amount of XP and credits. Fixed an issue where clan caches would scale incorrectly when opened in another player's lower level session. Fixed a bug where NPCs from a resource convoy could spawn out of thin air on top of the player. Oh yeah, that was not fun. Fixed a bug where the control point supply room would remain locked when capturing a control point too quickly. Yes, I had that happen. That is very annoying. Fixed several bugs with matchmaking that prevented correct matching of players based on their region, language, gear score, and other criteria. Fixed an issue where a friend in need achievement trophy would cause it to not unlock in certain conditions. Yes, that's a very annoying thing. Sometimes it was weird. From what I heard, some of my friends on the list, they would join people who had it, and then they would just simply get it. And it's probably one of the more fiddly trophies there to get. Fixed an issue where a player would be unable to complete the Big Game Hunter achievement trophy. Fixed an issue on the Ubisoft Club Weekly Challenges screen on PC that resulted in a low frame rate when on that screen. Fixed an issue causing Korean language glyph compositions not displaying properly in the in-game chat. And that looks about it right there. That is all the patch notes for patch 1.07 for Division 2. We'll wait till Nuke comes back with his tea.
Nuke's back.
Ah, there he is with his tea too. Is it good tea?
It's good tea.
Good.
Always good tea. We're English, so we make good tea.
Yes. I make a lot of cocoa, so especially with marshmallows. So thank you for letting me read all the patch notes. See, it wasn't that hard, all you other streamers. Madam Hockey has the cojones to do it. So those are all the patch notes. So if you have any questions, we should be doing a stream. The boys have been a bit busy doing stuff in real life, so we haven't been able to get a stream together. But Nuke here, I might be able to help Nuke out.
What's that? All right.
Yep.
Just.
You want to help with the mission? I could help you with one. Okay. He's a big boy. He likes to do that by himself, just like I did. I tip my hat to you, sir.
Yeah, we've opened the campus.
All right. Not that difficult of that mission. As long as you can get everything done, you can get on that chain gun and basically kill everyone and not have to break a sweat. So thank you for.
Didn't even use the chain gun.
Oh, that's how I do it. I get on that chain gun and I just give them what for. So thank you for watching or just listening to me read the patch notes for 1.07. We do have a stream later on tonight. It is Destiny Disappointment Tuesday. Join Super Eva Pop-Tarts and his group of Canadians as they just simply can't get enough of that bitter disappointment. So that should be fun. That should be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Space Canada TV. Well, Nuke, thank you, Nuclear Wombat. Thank you for joining me and listening to me babble out all the patch notes here. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. And remember, in space, no one can hear you and apologize.